A simple flip of a switch and a physical shove with your bare hands lead to the same result. Yet inside the skull, these two acts trigger conflicting biological responses. Imagine a runaway trolley barreling down a track toward 5 workers. You are standing next to a lever. If you pull it, the train diverts to a sidetrack where it will hit only 1 worker instead of 5. Faced with this choice, almost everyone pulls the lever. Trading 1 life to save 5 is a grim but easy equation to solve. Now change the scenario. The trolley is still heading for the 5 workers, but this time you are standing on a footbridge directly above the tracks, next to a large man. The only way to stop the train is to physically push him over the edge, onto the tracks below. When presented with this option, people recoil. The body tenses up. Even though the math remains an exact trade of 1 life for 5, we feel a visceral rejection of the physical act. Moral judgment shifts as soon as physical distance changes. Proximity acts as a mandatory input for the brain's internal inhibitors. Neuroscientist David Eagleman describes the human brain as a team of rivals, a collection of competing networks fighting for control. On one side, the ancient evolutionary emotional system monitors your internal state. It generates the gut feelings we associate with morality. On the other side, the newer rational system analyzes external data. Its job is to process facts and solve mathematical problems. When you make a moral choice, these two distinct networks actively fight each other for control over your physical actions. Researchers put this rivalry to the test using fMRI machines to watch the brain in real time as people wrestled with the trolley problem. This wireframe model shows the pushing scenario. The intimate proximity causes emotional networks to flare brightly, stopping the act. Switch to pulling a distant lever, and that flare fades. Activation shifts entirely to the lateral cortex, the logic center. The late neurologist Oliver Sacks documented cases where the connections between these two systems were severed. He found that patients who lose the ability to process emotion slip into a state of mechanical detachment. They process the world like a computer, unable to assign value to human life. A brain that functions strictly on logic and mathematics lacks the emotional weight needed to stop a catastrophe. Without the input of the older, feeling networks, logic becomes a cold calculator of human life. For most of human history, warfare was restricted to the reach of hands, swords, or spears. The distance of interaction was close, forcing our emotional brakes to engage. Today, we fight with what Shakespeare called reaching hands. A modern military can strike targets from vast distances across the globe. The physical action required to launch a Tomahawk missile from a destroyer is mechanically identical to pulling the first trolley lever. An operator simply presses a button. Because of that extreme distance, the emotional network never activates. Removing the physical proximity to violence allows us to bypass our evolutionary brakes entirely. Minutes later, buildings disappear in plumes of smoke. Entire city blocks are erased. Yet the operator who pressed the button experiences only the detached calm of a math problem solved on a screen. Human biology provides powerful inhibitors against killing at close range. Those same inhibitors fail when we move the battle to a screen and a button. Removing blood from the equation changes what we are capable of.